All right. We're live.
Can you point it down a little? Over.
I could. It's gonna fall over. All right, watch this. This is what happens when you listen to Tia.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if we can do any better than this.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Oh my god, look at how much I smile.
Okay. So this is the amazing part of the live stream where we. So, who's there? I want to know who you are. Even though Tia said it's okay for you to be anonymous.
Paul Dodge!
Hi, Paul! Okay, so we're going to be talking about our tour. And feel free to ask any questions. And they don't have to relate to the tour, just any questions at all. Because we love questions, because we love talking about ourselves. So, first we're going to tell you about... so before we had any gigs, we actually had booked the flights a little earlier because we thought we were going to have some gigs in London, but it didn't work out with our booking agent. But then we had an accidental London vacation for
I
a
got
while.
this hat.
Wow. Yes. And so Maddie during this time went and visited some family because she has an actual life over there and stuff. But us not being as cool and the twins never having seen London before, we decided to go and hang out and see all the things there was to see, and there was a lot of things to see.
How
was
under
the food?
construction?
Yes, there was a lot of under construction.
The food was very good. We made sure in every country that we were in to eat the food of the country.
Yes.
So
as
what did we
often as
eat in
could.
England?
We
had
had
tea,
meat pies,
meat
Ooh,
pies. We had, what's that
a full
thing called?
English
It's
breakfast.
like brown and it's got meat in it.
A meat pie.
The other one.
The
Do you
blood
mean
pie.
do you mean blood pudding?
No, I mean, it was like...
We had fish and
We're
chips.
still a little sleep
We had
deprived.
fish and chips.
we had
Fun
fish and
fact,
chips like 3 times.
Tia and I had never had fish and chips.
It's like
even
they
in
sell it
America.
like fast food.
So we went straight
It's
to
like a
real
bun
fish
thing
and
with meat
chips.
in it.
Yeah. See?
A pasty.
Oh yeah, we had
pasties.
pasties. They were very good. They were basically like sort of a calzone, but way better because they didn't have a bunch of
Yeah, we
marinara
had
in
a
them.
full English breakfast which had mushrooms, which we normally don't eat, but we ate one
At
of.
least one of.
Beans, which we don't normally eat, but actually was
They
really
were
good.
really
Yeah,
sweet.
tasted like
We had at least
SpaghettiOs.
one bean.
I actually ate all the beans. They were pretty sweet.
I had a couple beans and I couldn't get past it anymore. We had blood
They were
pudding.
fried tomatoes. So they cut a tomato in half and they fry it.
We had a
And I
bite of
ate
that.
everybody's tomatoes.
What's in a meat pie?
Well, the ones we ate the most were the steak and ale meat pies.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of different ones though, but the steak and ale was the biggest hit.
It was very
It was
good.
really good. Some had potatoes like in them.
Some
Which
had
was cool.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
I ate everything. It was great. But the twins, I gotta say, they impressed me with how much, strange foods they ate.
Yeah.
Well
Wait till
done.
you hear about the foods we ate in France.
Ooh yeah.
It's
Okay.
coming up later in the evening.
So later in the evening, foods
Later
in France. So we had a great time, the three of us in London, and
We rode on some double-decker buses on
Yes.
the top front.
Yes.
Top in the front, and it really looks like they're gonna like drive over all the cars.
Yeah, they don't have a nose on the front of the bus. I think the engine's somewhere else.
We died almost like 8 or 9 times.
We had
because
a
of
death
the
toll.
We had a death
opposite
count.
A near death
thing.
count.
A
It's
near
very
death
confusing.
count. It got up to like 17 by the end of
It
the
got
whole
pretty
tour.
high.
Because so in England it was because we still couldn't work out which way to look before we crossed, and we
It's
ended up
surprisingly
almost getting hit by
tricky.
cars. I know it sounds really stupid, but if you've ever been there as a
It's
stupid
tricky.
American, it actually was very confusing. And in the Netherlands, we'll get to that later, we almost got hit by like 17 bikes. So
Which
there's
wouldn't
that.
have been as fatal, but would have really
It was
hurt.
scary. They were angry.
They were so
Fast.
fast.
They were very good at biking. So anyway, we had an awesome time, and we walked around. Basically, this was touristing on a budget, which mostly involved eating the food,
Splitting everything.
splitting things,
Grocery
and
store.
going to the grocery store. We ate a lot of prosciutto.
Prosciutto
which
is cheap over there
Yes.
because they're close to Italy, I'm assuming. Pretty awesome because prosciutto is so expensive here, but it's so good. So we had that. What else? We had a lot of
Ate a lot of croissants bought from grocery stores.
We saw a lot of beautiful castles and awesome buildings.
We walked around and saw everything we could think of in London. Everything I had seen the last time I was there, and then we also saw a bunch of other things.
It didn't rain.
It
It
did
didn't
not
rain.
rain
Not
a single
once.
time.
Actually, we got sunburned in London, which, you know, the pamphlet said was not going to happen. You know, we were told
That's
about the
pretty special.
fog and the dreary weather, and I think it's a scam to make people not move there.
Kind of seems like it.
Yeah, because we did get sunburned. A little
Yeah,
bit.
I
You
definitely
got actually
sunburned.
sunburned. I got a nose sunburn.
And I put on so much sunscreen, and the sunscreen was like £1,000,000, and I still, like, got some, whatever. But we had an awesome time. And Maddie, how was your time before
It was
the
good.
trip?
I went to stay with my grandfather and my grandfather's partner, who loves feeding people. So I ate a lot, like a lot.
A lot more than we
Too
did,
much.
probably.
It was good. And then I met these guys in London.
The awesome rock and roll town.
Yes, Camden is awesome. Why don't you tell them a bit about Camden? Oh, Camden.
I don't know
expert.
the history of Camden, but basically, it's this area in London that's just full of
At the boot store,
Yes.
where they had very seriously badass metal boots.
Maddie actually has a pair of boots from there,
I do
right?
have a pair of boots from there.
Come see them at our next show.
I will not be wearing them at a show.
Come
I
False
will wear, I'll
advertising.
wear them when I'm not drumming.
see them at our next
Really hard to wear
our
when
next
drumming.
hilarious
They're,
video
like,
where
this
we
big.
walk around.
Big to Tia's head, they're like that big.
I
Size
wear
of
them
Tia's
on my head.
And Tia got a cap because she wants to start wearing hats.
Sometimes. Mostly it's because I lost my hair color, as you can maybe see.
You
Yeah,
can
we have
tell
matching
that
hair
all
color
of
now.
us have pretty
matching.
crappy
Oh, yeah.
hair color now.
We all lost a lot of our hair dye in Europe, and we had planned to re-dye it about halfway through the tour. However, as we'll get to later, most of the places we were staying were random people's houses, so we didn't really feel like we should, you know, repay them for their generosity by dyeing their shower blue. So we just decided to fade in style. So yeah.
After that,
Oh,
we...
Elise, hello!
Hello,
Hi.
Elise!
Oh, it's so nice to see you, even though we can't see you. But it's nice to know you're there seeing us. So yeah, so we were just talking about before the tour, we spent some time in London. And then we met up and with Maddie and had an awesome time in Camden. And
Then we took an overnight bus
A long ass
to
bus.
very long bus.
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam,
Amsterdam.
Netherlands.
And we took the bus
You got it.
on a boat.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it was on a
These
ferry.
guys were excited because what did we see while leaving England in the distance?
Oh my god! Okay, wait. So we drove into this town called Dover, and I was like, cool, okay.
Oh yeah.
And then Maddie was like, look at the tall mountains, look at the cliffs, and I was like, oh, the cliffs. And a few minutes passed, and I'm like, oh my god, cliffs of Dover!
Cliffs of
These are the
Dover!
cliffs of Dover!
We
That's
finally
there's
had
one
seen
there.
them. We had seen them without even trying. We just got
Yeah.
on this bus
We're
and
like,
there they
what?
For
So
those
that
who
was
don't know,
exciting.
that is a very famous landmark and a song. Apparently, I knew it was a landmark. They knew it was a song. Together, we all learned about the cliffs of Dover.
It was very exciting to put those two pieces together.
Yeah.
So,
Then we got on this bus, and the bus went on a boat to go from England, and it went to France, and we were on a boat with a bunch of these kids.
Oh
who, like,
yeah.
were
it was like a
touring.
school trip
Yeah.
going on, and there were all these French kids
They were like running around, being crazy, yelling in
at like
French
midnight.
at midnight.
It was
great.
cool because, like, you know, the first part of the trip was in England, so it was just, you know, English accents. And then we get on the boat and we start getting the other languages coming in, the
Yeah.
French kids and everything. And
It was-
I think
The whole trip was just so amazing to see all these different languages and hear all these, different voices and all these different cultures and all this food and everything. And it was a great mind-opening experience. Definitely.
So we slept maybe an hour or
Maybe
two on
an
the
hour.
bus.
it was
So-
tough. I slept the most, but I was really obsessed with Belgium. So.
She like woke up in the middle, like on the bus. We're like crammed against each other. She's like, Maddie, are we in Belgium? Is this Belgium? Maddie's like, no, it's not Belgium yet. She's like, oh, So an hour later, oh, is it Belgium? And it's like, yes, we're in Belgium now. I was like, oh, okay.
And we were sitting next to this Dutch guy who was drunk.
Oh, that guy was
He told us he
really
didn't have a
annoying.
home. He was like
might have been homeless.
traveled.
Yeah.
He was
So that was
interesting.
interesting.
He kind of took his pants off halfway through, but luckily he had like long shorts under. It was, well, very short shorts actually. I meant like long underwear.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of buses. This is how we experienced Europe. We didn't do any trains, and then when in Germany we had to rent a car for the gear. But we mostly did buses, overnight buses, which we saved a lot of money because we didn't need to get a place to sleep for that night because we were doing our transportation at the same time, which meant we didn't get a lot of sleep, but we saved money. And then when we got to Amsterdam,
We had a gig that night though.
Yes.
So that was kind of tough.
We got
We basically got on a bus, tried to sleep on a bus, barely, woke up, landed in Amsterdam in a bus, and then had a gig that night.
the best. Go ahead, you go.
we took a train from Amsterdam to Harlem, where we were staying, and we were lucky enough that Ted from Planet Zerbo, the band we played with,
Yeah, the best
Netherlands.
hospitality we had was in the Netherlands. Planet Zerbo, they're like manager slash singer
Wait,
person.
guitarist.
Guitarist.
The front man
Guitarist.
of Planet Zerbo.
Well, he was the brother of
Guitarist,
the.
right?
Yeah.
The guitarist of
The
Zerbo.
point is, an awesome guy
Guitarists are fun.
actually got us a hotel, which was like a huge surprise and really awesome. So we actually got to take a nap before our show.
and a shower.
And a shower.
Very exciting.
And that
With
place
really
was
funny
sweet.
soap dispensers.
Yeah,
It took us
a
like
while
2
to
days
figure
to
it out.
figure it out. We were there for like 2 days.
And ours was empty, so
You're
it was
supposed to
extra
squish it.
confusing.
It's like a
We're
tube
like,
and
nothing's
Yeah, it was like a tube on the
I was
wall.
hitting
You
it
just
on the
squeezed
bottom.
middle.
I
I
was
know.
like,
I was like, I'm the one who figured it out, by the way.
Well, we
Well, they
probably
figured it out
did,
in
but
their
nothing
room.
came out.
Yeah.
So, like,
Maverick
I don't
saved
know.
us in our room. I was like,
So like we carried around a lot of crap. Like
Yeah.
we brought my PRS, we brought Tia's bass, and
And
we
hard
brought
shell
my acoustics.
cases.
All three in hard shell cases.
Which,
Plus,
if you don't know, hard shell cases are very, very, very heavy.
they're like 30 pounds according to
Yeah.
the airport.
Yeah, well, the heaviest one was it 38?
It's 28.
Oh, 28. Well, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
It was very heavy for the
And
long
we had-
walking. We had to walk like
rolling
miles
luggages.
sometimes
We
to
had
get
a
to
merch
places.
suitcase and then a couple regular suitcases, backpacks. We were just dragging a lot of crap around town, which was we got so sore by the
Yeah,
end. Our
but
hands
we're
were
very
like,
buff
yeah,
now.
I'm picking at one of my calluses.
Yeah, so it was super on the cheap, but it was quite an adventure and
Yeah, and we got some exercise.
yeah, we did. We got a lot of exercise.
So our first gig.
It
In
was
Amsterdam.
amazing.
It was so cool. So
It was
it's really
incredible.
different there.
It was so cool.
amazing.
People kept telling
Nightlife
us.
all night. Waffles till 4 a.m. It was so sweet.
The cave was literally a metal nightclub.
Yeah, it's the first one we've ever seen.
Ever.
They don't really exist in the U.S. And people were telling us before we went out there, oh, it's so different, it's so great, you're gonna love it, like blah blah blah. Europe is gonna be such a great place for you guys. It's so true. It's really interesting because the venue was right on. So Amsterdam is like a bunch of canals and a bunch of streets, and people just wander around on foot and bike and like just like have a good time. So we were right on, this road that was like a fairly main road, and the doors like open. So when we started playing, the place was like half full, and then by the end of our set, or by halfway through our set, the place was packed because people heard us and just walked in. And that's like a really magical thing that is very hard to come by here in the U.S. because everything's so spread out. You don't like really have foot traffic in most places. So that was really cool. And the venue itself was really cool because it was actually a metal like bar club. Like they were literally playing like obscure-ish and like metal like in the
It was
it was
incredible.
great.
And shanties.
And shanties.
Yep, they were playing
yeah.
shanties. They
It
were
was
playing the hits. It was crazy. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and it was so cool. Just like blasting these songs. We were all singing them and dancing with everybody there, and
They were
everyone like.
throwing drinks at us.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
there was this.
We did not pay for one drink the whole tour. They know how to take care of bands, I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
I got this like apple pie shot. I was like, "Give me something Amsterdam-tastic," and they're like, "Okay." and then they gave me this shot. I don't even know what alcohol was in it, but but it had like cinnamon powder on top.
It was good times.
It was so good.
It was really fun. I mean, the people were just so into it.
And they were
playing.
younger too. Like young people in
Yeah.
America don't come out to shows, but everywhere we played, there was a much overall younger audience, which is great. It was really
It's
cool to see that energy.
We had a huge draw in Amsterdam.
Yeah, we definitely
It
have
was
more people at our
amazing.
shows there than we do here.
It was
We made a lot
incredible.
of friends. And me and Tanya got on a boat.
We
Yeah.
stepped on a stranger's boat.
They went on a stranger's boat.
We took a stranger home with us in our Uber.
Yeah, we did. He
well,
was
we
cool.
took him to his home.
There was, yeah, not to our home.
He
let's
lived
be clear.
in Harlem, and we were going to Harlem, so he came with us.
We took a stranger
The
home.
next day, we signed his chest, but we'll
Yes.
get to that.
We'll
Yes.
get to that.
So we
It
were.
was one crazy night.
It was.
And
It was
waffles.
awesome. And we
Yeah,
had
we got-
waffles.
So after that, we were like, okay, now we need waffles. I hope they're not closed. And then we went around
everything's
the corner.
open till like 4
They're
a.m.
like, yeah, we're open till 4. We're like, okay, waffle time.
Waffles.
And
Thank
one of
you
my friends
so
from the
much.
US came.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Then from Firstborn, he told us in America he would be here in Amsterdam, and he actually came.
Actually showed
know.
up.
It was so cool.
Awesome. And you
So
can
the
get
waffles, they were cool. They were like full
So
giant
sweet.
waffles with like a coating of like white chocolate or Nutella drizzle or all sorts of things. You can get ice cream on it or sprinkles or M&Ms, and they thought we were cute, so they put like M&Ms on all our stuff without us asking. It was really nice.
You got free M&Ms, yeah.
The other great
Delicious.
thing about the Netherlands, so they'll start talking to you in Dutch, and then when you're like, they'll respond in perfect English.
This is true about everywhere we
We
went.
felt
pretty much.
so stupid that
Yeah,
we
we felt
couldn't
like
speak
idiots.
their own language in their
We
own
did
country.
learn some.
And
we
they
learned
could
some of
speak-
everything.
We learned how to say cheers.
That's
Yeah.
Prost.
Prost.
Slightly different in German.
Well,
I think it
German
was
was
the same.
Prost.
Surprisingly.
I feel like the Amsterdam one was like
Prost.
Prost or something.
Well, if anyone knows, go ahead and leave us a comment. We learned stuff. What the fuck was it?
Well, we learned that hoi means hello, which Maddie knew, but I did not know. And a guy in a boat said hoi to me when we were walking down the street, and I said ahoy. And then Maddie's like, hoi is hello in Dutch. And I'm like, oh.
She thought it was boat slang. So we were actually staying in. We were actually staying in Harlem, which has 2 A's, and that second A makes a big difference in quality. It was beautiful, small town, really close to Amsterdam.
Cobblestone ground
Just
everywhere.
it was so gorgeous, and
Bikes
all the
everywhere.
people were so
Bikes.
happy.
Bikes.
Oh,
Bikes.
we cannot overstate
Bikes.
the bikes. Okay, bikes.
The biking community was extreme. There was so
Bike
many
lanes everywhere.
bikes.
Everyone knew how to bike, like really well.
Bike really fast.
And I'm so like watching the
No, watching
bikes
the
thing.
bikes
Sorry,
thing
it's like playing on here.
Ben.
Yes, that is right. So anyway, we were staying in this really cute little place, and so we got to explore Harlem before our show in Harlem, and everyone's so calm and nice.
People were
And
like
like-
scarily nice.
Yeah,
And
actually,
waffles. Different kind of waffles though.
Yes. Stroop.
Strip waffles.
Strip
Thin
waffles.
waffles.
They're very, very thin
Real
and they're like a
waffles
caramely
from the
center.
market.
and
Tanya tried some with cheese.
I did. I liked one of them. I didn't like the other one. But I really liked the waffles.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then, so we got to sightsee a little bit in Harlem, and then it's so cute. Everyone was so nice. One time we thought we heard a kid crying, and it actually was a kid laughing with glee.
And the mom was like,
like everyone just seemed so happy. It is on the like list of the like
Singing.
top like happiest countries.
Tanya
So.
can tell it.
you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so Maddie and I were walking around Harlem, and I swear this place is real life Disney World. So there was literally a guy up on a scaffolding
Scaffolding,
thing,
yeah.
painting like the side of a window, and he was singing in his native tongue, just singing while he was working, just like in a Disney
Like in this
movie.
cute little street.
Oh,
That was
it was
cobblestone
so
street.
cute, and we saw like one-person cars. They were so
Oh, tiny cars.
And we saw this old woman who was getting a photo with these
The big
statuesque clog
shoes.
things because it's like famous for clogs or whatever. And she was getting a photo with it, and then she like tripped over it and fell, going, "Oh my gosh, she's gonna break up, she's gonna die!" And then she just got up and laughed. Like
Yeah.
it was no big deal. And we were like,
They really take care of their bodies.
and there were so many old people biking, and they were in
Biking.
such great, they were like better shape than us.
We
Yeah.
were definitely the fattest people in the night. They are a beautiful people.
They are
They were so
beautiful people.
tall and blonde. It was crazy. Crazy.
So
All our servers were so pretty.
yeah, they were gorgeous. Our second show was at a place called Crackers Cafe, and what's interesting is that cafe doesn't mean what we think of as cafe, like it means like bar. So it was this really cool place, and we were playing with Planet Serpo again. They were awesome, and same thing. There was a lot of foot traffic, and it was like a really magical thing. Like I felt like we were actually like beckoning people in.
A lot of people also like told us, they were like, oh, I was walking by the street and I saw the like poster out front, and I was gonna come back, and I came back, and
It's
I'm
like
so
what's
glad I did, or
supposed to
whatever.
happen.
People actually saw the sign and decided to come in. Like, I don't know what they do.
That
all
I don't know if
day.
you can see right behind us is the poster from Harlem. It says tonight. Oh, in English. So, but everyone speaks English. We were so lucky and privileged. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so
Very,
privileged.
very privileged.
Yeah. So yeah.
One of the guys, the Swedish guy from Amsterdam, he lives in Harlem. We rode in the Uber with him, whatever. He said he would come out to the Harlem show, and he actually did.
Yeah. And then we signed his chest.
Yes.
It was awesome. We saw a
Yes.
lot of that guy.
Yes, we did.
Do you like to tell
I'm gonna
the
leave it
viewers?
there. I'm gonna leave it there. They have slightly different standards of. We'll just
Public viewing.
yes. But anyway, it was all good fun, and we
Good
signed his chest.
So here's a cool thing. Okay, so I talked to a couple people at the bar after they had seen us play, and I was telling them that in America not a lot of people just roam off the streets and come in, and that a lot of live venues are closing down and stuff, and people just don't come out. And he was just shocked. They're all shocked when you tell them that. They're like, what? Why? Why would anyone not come to a show at night?
Yeah, I mean the same thing when we had that interview from the German TV thing.
Yeah.
I said this something similar, and he was like, "What?
It's
How is
just
this
shocking.
possible?" And I'm like,
It's
So, yeah.
hard. Like, we have our dedicated fans like you guys who come and support
guys
and everything, but like it's just so different. And this other crazy different thing, when we were walking back to the hotel
"Oh yeah, this is
from the venue.
listen up, lady."
It's crazy. So we're used to in America being catcalled, being hey ladies.
All the
It
time.
actually happened the day we got back.
Yeah, literally
the day
the
we
day
got back.
So it usually leads into awkward conversation of a guy trying to pick you up or get your phone number or just creep on you.
Yeah, like sometimes, we're walking down the street and you think it starts off and it could be totally harmless, but usually it ends up being super creepy. So in America, it'd be like, "Hey, what you guys doing?" And then we're like, "Oh, we just played a show, blah, blah, blah." And it's like, "Oh, cool, wow, you guys look really nice. I like your pants and the way and hey, you guys, what are you doing tonight? You want to come to my house?" Okay, that's how it usually goes. But in Harlem, we had this awesome interaction where this guy was with
Many
two of his
interactions.
friends. Yeah.
But
This one specifically, like, kind of blew our minds. He was like, "Hey, well, how's it going?" And we were like, "Hey, we just played a show." He's like, "Oh, really? What's your band called?" "Oh, actual interest." I was like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Oh, that's so cool." And he walked with us for a while, like, while we were walking away, the way we usually do from creeps. And we were also carrying all our guitars and stuff. And he was like, "Oh, cool, where are you from?" "Oh, from Boston." I was like, "Oh, yeah, all right, well, have fun in Europe, bye." And he walked away. We were like,
whoa.
he left.
And then this other guy like came out of the bar and was like smoking. It was like, "Oh wow, what are you guys up to?" Like, "Oh, we just played a show." Same thing. And then he just talked a little bit and he was like, "All right, well, have a great night." And then he went back into the bar.
Yeah.
We're like, "Oh my god."
People are
Very
so nice. I
rare.
felt so
They
safe.
just wanted to talk. They didn't have an agenda. It was awesome.
It was crazy.
It happened a lot. Just people talking
did.
and seeing how we were doing and then going about their life.
Yeah, it was cool. It was nice to. I felt so safe, especially in the Netherlands.
Yeah, it
but
was
honestly, I mean,
man.
Germany was awesome too
Germany was
For-
awesome.
for safety. So 10 stars for safety.
And the cafe that we played at
Uh-huh.
had the same logo as us.
Yeah, they
Oh,
actually
yeah, they like
Phoenix.
they're like a phoenix.
It was like,
Like,
Phoenix,
being-
rise from the ashes,
We're like,
reborn.
okay,
We were like, this is perfect.
Oh yes, and
Maddie and I did laundry at a Dutch laundromat. It was very hard, so nobody was there. We were just
But-
translating.
We figured it out.
We did it. We put Zeep, which is soap, and
You remembered the word for soap. Nice
I
job.
did.
We
I
learned
remember
some
Repeated
words.
it like
Zeep.
17
I
times.
remember Fiats,
Yes.
bikes, and Hoy, which is hello.
Nice.
I think that's it.
So we could talk about bikes and soap and say hello.
That's
so
pretty much
good.
all you need, at least bikes.
So, so our two Netherlands shows were super, super awesome. And
They were
because of Ted from Planet Circle, we got to actually stay in a hotel, which was awesome.
Very
Very
nice.
cool.
Great start. Great
Yep.
start.
And then, so we had a couple days off. Originally, those were going to be shows in like Belgium and France and things, but the booking company didn't come through with that. But we decided to
Go anyway.
go anyway. Basically, we're like, so we're this is the time that when we go, this is what I kept telling myself, when we go on a real European tour and we have shows every day, then we probably won't have time to actually look around and see where we are. I mean, there's so many, bands talk about like, oh yeah, touring's great. Like, I just see the inside of venues, So we figured, okay, hopefully we'll be doing real, like all day, every day tours soon. So this is the time for us to go and look and appreciate the cultures of the countries we're actually in, so that when we're on tour, we won't feel really depressed that we're missing out. So we decided to go to Paris, and Maddie grew up in France. So
She was our translator.
Yeah.
She talked like a
It was
wizard
amazing.
to everyone. She was like, whoa, 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 whoa. We were like, whoa.
It was very
it was
amazing.
awesome. It was like seeing like a fish ride a bike or something. It was like we were like, holy crap! Like
We're like,
had no
whoa.
idea she had this amazing skill. I mean, we knew, but to see it in action
yeah,
was oh wow.
To see in real life was like,
And it's a good thing because
France was
It's
probably
really
the place
confusing.
where people did not speak English as much.
We stayed with this really cool guy.
Yeah,
It's like this old guy that his house was basically like a museum.
he was like the bohemian guy. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, he had like 17 chess sets and hundreds of books.
He's
and-
definitely
he had
a
this chess
hoarder.
set that was like the pieces were like
Yeah.
this big.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't see that.
and he's
That's
a
scary.
painter and he's lived in like 15 different countries.
And he kept showing us videos of his daughter playing in the symphony, which was cool.
In front of the president.
Right.
For their president.
Yeah.
and like so he was in like newspaper articles and
Yeah.
magazines.
Yeah. 'Cause he's
He was-
traveled.
he was so
forever.
adorable.
He was
Oh.
so friendly. He
And he was
made
really
us tea
helpful.
when we woke up in the morning.
Yeah,
he did.
that was nice. So we stayed with him and we just walked around and saw everything. Took lots of buses and
Saw the Eiffel
lots of
Tower and
kids.
ate macarons. in
We
front
spent
of
a
it.
lot of time with the
Oh.
We
Eiffel
learned
Tower.
the difference between macarons and macaroons, which
Yes.
you kind of knew
Macarons
already,
of
but
coconut.
We had to learn for
Macarons
ourselves.
are the cute ones.
Cute little
Macaroons
hamburger
are
desserts.
gross and taste like
Hey,
coconuts.
We don't like coconut. She probably does.
I like coconut.
I
she's
feel
the
like coconut is
minority.
like hair gel. When I eat coconut, I think I'm eating hair.
I love the
Yeah, like
dry-
like dried hedge that's like crumbly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I had a hair gel that I used on my bangs that smelled like coconut.
But
I
coconut
think that ruined
flavor
it for
is
me.
great. But
You know
coconut
people are
shade
watching
is-
us, right?
Oh no, viewers! No, just
Too much coconut talk. Okay, so we
The
had a great
Eiffel
time in
Tower
Paris.
at night. Wow.
Oh my god, it goes like
Wow.
Yeah,
like,
Maddie was like, let's go see the Eiffel Tower at night. And we're like, oh, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. She was like, no, seriously, even if you bitches aren't going, I'm going to see it. And we're like, oh, okay, maybe it's really cool. And then we went, and it was the coolest thing ever.
it like shines like crazy. It's like lights.
Yeah, they have a light show on the hour
Mhm.
every hour.
It was beautiful.
Also,
That
the
was
sun
really great.
sets at like 10 p.m. there. in
That
the
was
summer.
crazy.
The whole
And
time we were there,
Amsterdam
it was like
and
10
Germany,
p.m.
the sun sets
Mhm.
at like
It was so
11 p.m.
confusing.
It was 10:30, and we were like right out.
It was amazing. France was awesome. We went to a lot of cool spots. We
Yep.
did a little
Yeah.
little river thing.
Saw the catacombs.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
was so many cool
crazy.
things. to
I
do.
didn't. I stayed out of the catacombs and watched our stuff, but that was fine with me because I'm afraid of skulls.
The best
But don't
thing,
tell anyone that.
The best thing. Oh my god, the bakeries.
Oh,
The baguettes.
if you think you've had a croissant that was good, you are wrong.
You are
Unless
wrong.
you've been to Paris.
Especially the baguettes, though. I feel like they were a whole
But
different.
like, there was this
The
one
chocolate-filled
croissant.
croissant changed my life.
There was this one chocolate croissant we got from like the bakery right by the place we were staying.
Oh my god, it was amazing.
It was crumbly.
We should talk about the other weird thing. Sorry.
Dude, you tell them about the other weird things.
I feel like all we're talking about is food.
Oh, the
God,
food.
ask for it.
Because I would be surprised talking about it as you guys. You can.
Okay.
So
Tia-
Maddie was like, okay, you guys have to eat. Ready? Snails and frogs' legs. And we were like, okay. We were kind of
I was
hesitant.
scared.
And, she
And we
kept
got fondue, which is less
saying
terrifying.
like, oh, this place has it, this place hasn't, and then we finally like went
Okay.
into one.
We found this really cute place, and Maddie ordered snails and frog's legs and fondue. And
split it all.
We split everything as we were doing that whole trip.
We did everything, and the frog's legs, 10 out of 10, really
Tia loved the
good.
frog's legs.
Tia is
So
like her new
good.
favorite food.
It was
frog's
so good. It
legs.
was like
It was
eating
very
mini
good.
chicken, but really, really mini. It was great. The creepiest part was the feet. You can like see their feet.
My feet was still there. You could see their pelvic bone.
And Tanya did a dance with them.
Yeah.
Which
and
I
the
thought was
snails-
deeply
The
disrespectful.
snails were full of pesto, so it was pretty good, but the texture was weird.
It was
definitely
freaky,
like
man.
It was like
eating-
mussels.
Yeah. It was
Oh, and
yeah,
like
mushrooms.
mushrooms.
It tasted great, but felt weird.
Felt
so
weird.
They like the fondue the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fondue was
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
nasty.
the
not
fondue,
gonna lie.
the cheese they used in the fondue was one of those stinky cheeses, which I'm into and Maddie liked too, but it was a bit
It
too
just
much
tasted
for the
really
twins.
bitter, and I'm like, I just want more frogs legs.
It's okay because we
Get
had
this
bread
cheese
and the
thing
bread
out
was
of here.
The
amazing.
snails were more like
Mussels.
mussels
But-
or like octopus.
It
If
kind
you
of-
had
Covered in
octopus.
pesto.
Yeah, the snails were
Yeah.
kind of like more of
They
a
were like-
gamey fish.
They were like rubbery
Rubbery.
garlic.
Rubbery pesto.
That's
That's what
do
they were
not
like.
recommend,
Would not
but
recommend.
I
definitely
recommend.
try it at some point.
Maybe swallow it whole. Do you swallow it whole?
I don't know, because we had it with bread.
Yeah, we added with bread.
Mm.
It was like eating like
But
a weird
eating,
chunk
but
of
taking them out of the shells was fun.
It
That
was fun.
yeah,
it was like
You scoop their little
tiny-
bodies out of the shell.
So anyway, that was our time in Paris. Actually, we also went into Notre Dame, which was amazing
It's
because the
very
last
cool.
time I was in Paris, that was like my favorite thing. And the last time I was in Paris, I was like, the river tour is so great. We should do the river tour. You know, so it was like the one thing we really spent money on was doing this river tour. And it wasn't
It
actually
wasn't
that
even much
expensive.
because we did the like basic bitch river tour.
Yeah.
No like dinner or drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just like got on a bus
Get on a
in the
boat.
river and like went up and down it, but it was amazing.
It
We
was
got to see
so
so many
cool.
things. So that was a good thing to have a little bit of a little splurge on. And yeah, so it was wonderful.
kind of an interesting thing happened on the subway there, like on our way to the house that we were staying at. This guy started talking to us in English about our band and
Well, they
stuff.
see our hair
So
and
we
they
had
know we're not
instruments
French.
And yeah, everyone knew
People
we
thought
were
we were
local.
German or
Russian. Some people were Russian.
And most people
Yeah.
thought we were,
We tried the restaurant.
English speaking.
Yeah.
it could be Russian.
But no one had dyed hair in France.
Yeah. So we get talking to him, and suddenly it comes out that he's like friends with the Hellfest people or something.
Which is
Which
We're
is
like,
a big
mega,
festival.
mega
in
we're like, you
France.
take our car.
On his way out, we're like,
Yeah.
So hopefully, maybe one day that'll happen.
That would be nice.
Anyway, that was an exciting way to kick it off because after that, it was mostly just stares from people.
I thought you meant going upstairs, which also was a thing.
There was a lot of
stairs.
stairs.
Okay, so
Oh
people
my
who
God.
have accessibility needs, I'm so
So
sorry
bad.
about you in Europe. Oh yeah. So okay. So as I mentioned, we were doing this on the cheap, and we were dragging around all our stuff in our gigantic hard cases. So we had a bag full of merch and a bag full of like gear, and then
bag
like our
being like
clothes,
a giant roller
like
bag.
a roller bag, and then we had our 3 gigantic heavy hard cases around 30 pounds each, and we had to get through like all these metro systems in all of these cities that we were in, and they were all freaking tiny and European, but the French one was the
It
worst.
was like this
Because it was
wide.
like this big, and you had to like get all your crap through, and there's a turnstile, so you put in your ticket, and then when you take your ticket out, it like opens the gates up for like a second, and you have to get through a turnstile, through the gate, and there's
then it
usually
closes.
like a fucking wall in front of you too. So I was like, okay, how do we do this with all our shit? So and there's like no people there to like open like an accessibility door.
We had that one.
And there were only accessibility doors on like 2 stations. So we put I like shoved some of the stuff through like next to my feet, and I was gonna like kick it through and like
send one of us through to like collect it on the other side.
right, and it was like a whole thing, and I almost got
We
through.
almost made
and
it.
the gates like closed closed
on our
on me, and
last
I was
things.
like crushed in the gate. I like
It was
literally, it didn't
inside
open
the
again.
door.
It didn't open again. I literally had to like squish myself
Well,
out.
some other people came and like helped push the door open, and they had luggage too, so we helped them afterward. But like, Mildred was literally trapped in the doors.
Yeah, the French public transit system is not friendly.
It was really funny though.
We even saw some
2 out of
people
5
get like
stars.
stuck in the doors of the
Oh, yeah.
subway.
Yeah, one person's leg was in the door of the subway, and all these people went and helped pull the door open.
Paris does not play. You're in or you're out.
Oh man.
People were like leaping into the metro, like trying to get on the train, and like sometimes failing. And we saw 2 people like epically fail.
Dude,
And
this-
I got crushed.
And
So
this
like
one
we were only
woman
there for
like
like 2 days.
flew in last second. It was amazing.
I was used to it.
Okay, so France was awesome. And then we took an overnight bus
Yep.
to Germany.
Yes.
to
And we
start
had a
our
gig
Germany
that night as
adventure.
well.
Yes.
Yes. So we had a gig
That was a
day.
really
We took
long
a
bus.
13, 14-hour bus.
It was very
13
long.
hours.
We
To
drove through
Hamburg.
Belgium, where we got out and got Belgian waffles at the gas station.
They were
So-
They were
okay.
pretty
at the gas
darn
station.
good. We got
So they
better
would've
ones
been
later.
better and so we got to Hamburg, and we had to rent a car for that leg because we had to move around the people who were our booking team, basically.
And the gigs were like farther
really
apart.
far apart,
Not
and some of them
really
weren't
as
not really
super
accessible.
train accessible. So we rented a car in Hamburg and then drove to Celle, all on like an hour of sleep.
Stella was like this. Oh yeah, we were so tired driving the
So
car.
tired.
Not gonna lie, I could have fallen asleep if I had less willpower. I was driving.
So we all like, we listened to
Classical
We
music.
listened to the German like classical music station,
Music
which was
classica.
awesome
Music
because
classica.
classical radio. And it was cool because we got to hear people talking in German about the music, and then we had like calming music and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, it was so cool because okay, so Autobahn just means highway
Oh yes.
or freeway, and there are parts on that freeway where you
there's
can
no
go
speed
as
limit.
fast as you want. It's like this gray circle with lines through it, and it's like okay, all speed limits are up.
Right.
Just do your thing.
But the Autobahn is not like a highway that has no speed limits. It's just the highways
It's
there
the word for
have
freeway.
sections where there is no speed
Yeah.
limit. But if
So,
there's
like-
like an exit coming up or something, there's
It goes
there's
down,
the speed
yeah.
limit again.
So commonly it was like 120 kilometers, which is like 75, which was like the most common. But then when that would go away, it goes as fast as you want. So I went like 160 kilometers per hour,
It was
which
fun.
is like 95, 99.
Yeah, we could have gone more, but she
I was
a-
kinda
you know, She was
nervous.
a little chicken about
When
it.
we first got started, a lot of people were driving around us, flipping us off, and being very angry.
We were only going 95 on the Autobahn.
The Germans can be very intense on the road.
Oh yeah.
At one time, I tried to get a parking space.
Oh my God.
I've been waiting for a parking space. What was this? This was in Hamburg, our
Oh
third
my
gig
God.
in Germany, and we were like looking around for a parking space forever because we were staying in this artist flat. I'm jumping ahead, but
We'll come back.
we were staying in this artist flat. We were trying to find a parking space. It wasn't like downtown Hamburg, so it was like really hard to find a space. We finally found this one space, and this guy was like getting it before me. But
Even though
I
we
like
were there.
I
We were there. I
literally
don't think he
I
saw
put
us.
my car in between him and the parking space, and he was like screaming at me, and I just like pretended he wasn't there.
He like
And
drove
then
back.
He drove off, and then he turned around, drove back right behind my car, and then started
We saw
getting
him
out of
getting
the
out of
car.
the car.
They're like, angry Germans, and we drove off really
He
fast.
got out of the car to like, we don't know.
But the only German anger we ever met was because we were doing stupid things on the road. So in general, all the
Otherwise, they
people
were all
in Germany
they were
were
super
so
nice.
awesome and nice.
Very
Especially the bands we made friends with. So
Yeah,
our
so
first gig in
Celle
Celle.
was awesome. It was this like beautiful town, like
It was
so much green and flowers, and oh, it was raining so much. But then the sun came up, and there was a freaking double rainbow like right before our show, like a double rainbow. Behind all
So
the trees.
intense.
It was amazing.
We were playing with 1,000 Faces, which is a band we made really good friends with, and
super,
D-Wall,
super awesome.
which we also played with in Hamburg.
Yes,
and
they were also
they were really
super
awesome.
They lent us their gear and
Yep.
everything, and
And I will take this moment to mention that the beer in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, and in Germany were both really, really good. Like they had all my favorite. Well, I have new favorites now. and I feel so awesome about it. I'm like, I can be a beer snob now. I'm like, well, it's not as good as in the Netherlands, you know. They have that Belgian wheat beer. Anyway, we didn't get to drink beer in Belgium, but they had it around some point.
Plus pretzels. They had a lot of pretzels.
Pretzels?
In Germany.
Yeah, they had pretzel
Really
buns.
good
Oh yeah, the
pretzel
German
buns.
food we ate. We had pretzel buns. we had schnitzel, which is like fried.
We didn't know what it was, but we all
Fried
ordered
meat.
it.
It
was
looks
awesome.
like
We had fried chicken.
Fried
Yeah, there was like fried chicken.
The chicken tasted like a little bit like fish. It was like a cool chicken, and then it was like fried. I only made the chicken and vegetables, and now they want fried things.
Oh, we also had
Spätzle.
I had a bratwurst at the airport.
You
Oh,
did?
that's
It
something
was
we
weird,
missed.
because I ordered a because they had this like menu and it said bratwurst with bun or bratwurst with pretzel. So I was like, oh, it's gonna come with a pretzel bun. But then he just gave me a pretzel and then gave me like sausage.
That sounds delicious.
Very strange.
But Spätzle, or it's just Spätzle. I'm saying Spätzle, but it's just Spätzle.
Spätzle.
It's like these egg noodles, and
It's
they
like
were
fried
really
noodles,
good.
which are like kind of like udon noodles from Japan, but like more fried and kind of shorter.
and made of eggs.
They were good.
It
Yeah,
was good.
really good. And I drank a lot of beer. It was good.
So
Um,
the cello gig
Anyway,
Was at Cellar
incredibly
Rock Music
awesome.
Initiative.
it was
which
really cool. It was a
cool.
huge stage, and like tons of people came, and they were like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, it's like a Thursday, and like not as many people are here."
But it was so much
it
more
was
than we
a
get in
lot of
America.
people.
So many people were
So
there.
yeah, and we made such good friends with those bands that
Yeah,
night.
they were
that
so
like,
really fun.
was really a highlight.
and we were like, "Hey, come to Hamburg, please." And then they were like, "Oh, we'll see." And we'll see if
Spoilers,
they
they
show up.
came to Hamburg. So that was a really great show, and Stella was so beautiful.
It was.
And we stayed at this really very cute house owned by this lesbian couple.
We never even
Kids.
got to see because we just like came in the night and left, but they were cool with it, obviously.
Yeah, they were very nice. And we left them our CD, and they sent us
And they
a
had a
love
band
letter
room.
letter.
They had a band room with like
They had a
instruments.
band
Yeah,
room.
man, we never figured out what that was for. But anyway,
Wow, lived there.
so and then the next day.
And spoiler, this was when I started to get sick.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
Enter the Foff Bronx.
Enter the stage
Via
where we all
Maddie.
started. Maddie started.
Maddie
it, so.
started to show some symptoms in Paris, but it
Yeah.
started to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
actually. Right.
Just started to get. She was like, kind of rough in the vocal department.
Mhm.
She was coughing some stuff up.
We
So
thought it was
anyway.
allergies.
Right, we thought it was allergies, but
That night, my throat started to go a little.
yes. Yes, that brings Stella to a close. The next day, we had quite an adventure.
We had
Because
to
we were
drive
told-
to Kiel.
Yeah, we were told by our booking company that we had to be in Kiel for a Kiel TV interview at noon. So we had to get up at because we were 3 hours from Kiel. So we had to get up,
And we thought it was a hard deadline.
right. Which it turned out to not be, but that's okay because we had a great time.
We had a great
So
time.
we showed up at the owner of Kiel TV's house, and it turned out we were staying there that night, so that was cool to know. As you might be able to figure out, it was sort of disorganized. Everything turned out awesome, but I think there was some language barrier between us and the booker, so it was we sort of didn't know what we were getting into most of the time, but it was awesome. But we ended up. He made a beautiful meal for us.
Hungarian.
He made us
He made us
goulash.
Hungarian
Yeah.
goulash. It was so good.
It was really good.
And he was so welcoming.
He was
and
the nicest person.
he was the nicest person
created.
ever. Yeah, and
And his family.
yeah,
he
he
had
had two
two
sons, and they
sons.
were cute.
And
Not like that. I
So,
mean, maybe.
Kiel is very far north in Germany. It's actually
like
really
at
close
the-
to Denmark.
Yeah, at the.
It's a
northern
sailing town, so there's a lot of ocean and
Yeah.
And it was a submarine.
Yeah, there was a
submarine we
big
got to
old
see.
submarine. So
I started getting sick that day.
yeah, Tia started getting
Progressively
sick.
worse
She
throughout
got
the day.
really
I
sick.
lost my
Her
voice
was
entirely. I was
totally
like,
gone. It was total classic laryngitis, and she was having other symptoms too. So then Maddie and Tia were both sick, and that night we had our only acoustic show of the thing, which it hinges a lot on our vocal harmonies, and we were down 2 singers.
So we had no idea what to expect with the acoustic thing.
Right.
We were like, why are we playing acoustic? And then we
On a
show
Friday.
up. Yeah, on a Friday night, and we show up at this
crazy place.
amazing little Viking bar.
Yeah.
It was a Viking
And they made
tavern.
it was also like a store, so they made their own mead and their own schnapps, and they made their own
So many
beer.
They had little
Yes.
shots in the form of shots, like an injection.
Everything
shots.
was Viking themed. There
Yes.
was
Yeah, the bartenders were dressed.
Yeah,
They
they
were
were dressed in
dressed
like
up
period
fully.
clothes.
Yep. There was a drink called Sex in Valhalla, based on Sex on the Beach, but way more metal.
And they
Among
the
many
owner of
others.
Keel TV had like, brought like a whole bunch of like cameramen and like set up like 3 HD cameras, and they were filming like the whole set, which was really cool. So hopefully we'll get to show you some of that footage soon when we get it.
Another idea of the hospitality that we experienced
Oh,
in
yeah.
Europe.
This is so cool.
The guy we were staying with, Jürgen, the TV man, he came up to us and said, "Oh, so the bar wants to know if you want to eat first before you play." And we were like,
Sure.
"Okay."
And we were
We get
just
to
in the
eat.
back room, like making our set list, and then all of a sudden 4 plates of like who knows what
It was very weird looking.
show
but
up.
We
and
ate
it
it.
was like
meat.
it was like this like total mystery meat.
We
It
still
looked
don't
like-
know what it
It was
is.
like a
Eating
big
in the
slab of spam, but with a lot of mystery colors and mushrooms in it.
Yeah, it was kind of a surprise that we ate it.
And there was
We were
this
just
weird
like,
potato-y,
calories.
crunchy thing.
But they fed us. They didn't even
Yeah.
ask what we wanted. They're like, poof,
They
German
just
food.
were like, "Here you go, have food." We're like, "Wow." I didn't
Okay.
even think they served food there.
no, I
I
think
don't think they did. I think they just had like an oven for the workers.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So we
yeah,
ate mystery German food, which was awesome. Good calories. Got
this
us through.
place filled up
In a second.
with metal dudes. Maddie Warrior Princess, yes. It was true. And
Yes.
we wish we had known it was a Viking tavern because we would have dressed more appropriately.
But once we knew that it was, we knew we
We were
had to
very
do
excited.
some shanties.
We
which
were
we
very-
been talking
Oh yeah,
about
Very
before.
excited.
It was crazy because so many people showed up and packed this tiny little place. They
So
all
many
had metal
metalheads.
like vests with like Judas Priest like
Ale storm.
Patches.
Cannibal corpse.
Yeah,
Everything.
and we're like, why are we playing acoustic here? This
Yeah.
is
But they
so weird.
ate
But
it
there
up.
wasn't like, yeah,
They loved it. There was no
Yeah.
space for a full
It was
band,
so
but they
crazy.
went crazy. They loved it. They got so drunk and they got us drunk and they
Oh
like
my god.
That was the one night that I got actually drunk on
Maddie
tour.
and I had so many Jaeger shots.
Yeah, there was this one guy at the bar who like didn't speak a word of English, but he just looked at us and was like, "Jägermeister," and we were like, "Okay."
Jaeger.
And then
Jaeger.
for the rest of the night, it was really dangerous if you made eye contact with him. He'd just be like, "Jägermeister."
We're like, no more, no more.
Tia got out of it because we were in the back room playing darts with our host of Keel TV's son, who was beating me at darts. But by this
Oh yeah.
time,
Okay, so Keel TV's son guy, 16 years old, crushing on me hardcore. It was so adorable.
me and him
He
were
was like,
fighting for Tia's heart.
He was like,
And he
you know,
won, unfortunately.
like petting me and like he I had no
He was
voice.
16
and
and he
he
was
was
drinking
like-
beer in the place.
He was like, even though you don't have a voice, it's really cute when you talk.
Aw.
And I was like, oh, and he was like giving me chips and like
Aw.
he bought us all beers, and I
Yeah.
actually liked that beer, but I
Don't,
didn't
wheat
drink
beer's
much because I
best,
was
man.
so ill.
Yeah, I.
So Tia was really sick at that point.
yeah.
Hello, Max of Few Trades.
Hello. So I had a guy who came up to me and was like, "Hey, you want something super German?" And I was like, "Oh, I kind of just want a mixed drink, just because I've been trying the beers and still haven't found one that I can actually tolerate an entire drink of." And he was like, "No, Jägermeister."
Oh yeah, he
And I was
started
like,
the Jägermeister
"Oh,
train.
sure, I like Jaeger." So we did a Jaeger shot, and then we met the other guy, and he was like, "What do you want to drink, basically?" And I was like, "Jaeger," and then that started the whole thing. And then he called us babies because we didn't want a 5th Jaeger shot.
He just, what did he do? He's like, he's like, because he couldn't like speak English, but he just kept doing that.
Oh my god, the best thing that happened, probably on the entire tour. We played Drunken Sailor.
Oh yeah.
It
And
was the right time to bring it
a
out.
ton of metal dudes.
Okay, all we played. I was like, "Up to the drunk, I say, "Early in the morning." First verse is like comes in, and they're like, they all like get down
Drop
on
to
the
the
ground,
ground.
drop
And
to the
start
ground,
rowing.
and start
They're rowing.
and they rode the whole
They
song.
were drunken
Giant
sailors.
metal German dudes growing to us playing Drunken Sailor acoustically.
It was so awesome.
They did it the whole song
They
too.
wrote the whole song.
It must have been a lot of work.
We made so many friends on this tour. It
Yeah,
was
we made a
just
lot of
amazing.
friends.
We sold so many CDs.
We actually, so we
T-shirts.
brought, you know, okay, so in a normal show in the U.S., we'll be very happy if we sell 2 CDs. So we were like, okay, let's just, you know, so we brought, I think,
like 5 per show or 10 or 8.
we got 8 per
We
show.
got like 10 or something.
and we sold out of all our CDs.
We had to do like pre-sales or like, so the person we were staying with was gonna bring CDs to the venue tomorrow because
Yeah.
we left some at the place.
Yeah, we basically sold out twice because we didn't bring enough to the venue, and then we sold out by the end of our tour. We were out
Yeah.
of CDs.
It was
Goals.
It was
Goals
awesome.
met.
They bought T-shirts.
They really
bought the
cleared us out.
necklaces,
Posters.
posters.
They
They bought
cleared us out.
everything.
And that was great because we ended up going pretty over budget. So we got to fill that up with the merch sales because people actually bought our stuff.
It was such an
Yay!
incredible night. And
They
then
were so crazy there. It was awesome.
we went back to Jürgen's house, the host of the TV studio, and the house we were staying at. And in the morning, he made us this amazing breakfast.
Complete with various forms of alcohol.
Oh my
And-
God, they
And
drink all the time.
son
there.
had folded the napkins, so they were like really pretty
It
on the
was
plates.
so
Yeah.
Probably
He
trying to
looked it
impress
up.
Tia.
It was amazing.
Yeah, he was
like,
my tour boyfriend.
Yeah.
the hospitality there was incredible.
They just
Also,
like
they
everyone
drink
was
all the
so
time.
nice. Everyone was so nice to us and like loved what we were doing
Yeah.
and like appreciated what we were doing. It was so cool.
They were all very grateful.
Very
that we came
scandalous.
to
It
their
was very
town.
scandalous.
Yeah, he was
Snack.
16. It was really scandalous. Just like literally.
He liked me. I was just, you know,
Just being
just doing
cool.
my thing.
Yeah.
I was TAing around.
She couldn't even talk. It was like a Little Mermaid situation. You know?
I was totally Little Mermaid.
But yeah, so that was awesome. And then the next morning we had to drive to Hamburg. But our the Kiel TV host was like so in love with us. He wanted to show us a bunch of stuff in Kiel. So he was like, "Follow me. I'll take you to the highway." And then like he like took us on this huge detour to see this awesome thing, which was the is it the Baltic Sea? Did I just
Baltic
mix
Sea,
it up?
yeah.
Yeah. The Baltic Sea, which is awesome. We got to actually
We
touch
touched the Baltic Sea.
Yay!
And it was beautiful. And there's this huge World War II memorial of like all the people and the ships that went down from all countries in World War II there, and that was cool to see. We didn't get to go in, we didn't have time, but we saw it from the outside. It was awesome. And then we drove to
Hamburg.
Hamburg.
Astrastube.
Yes.
So Osterstrom was cool. It was like under this bridge, and
Yeah,
it was
it was
full
so
of
cool.
painted
Stickers, so many
graffiti
stickers.
Yeah.
stickers everywhere. It was so like
It was very rock and
dingy.
roll.
and
Yeah, it was
awesome.
very rock and roll. And
That
it
night
was-
we played with
And we had
D-Hall
hamburgers that
again.
night.
We did.
Yeah.
So we were originally told we were going to get this chicken surprise that no one was translating very well. So we went to this chicken thing, and
they
then
were out
they
of
were out of
chicken.
chicken. So, but we had walked past this amazing hamburger place, and we were like, we want to get hamburgers in Hamburg because it's where they're from. And
Honestly, wasn't sure about.
I know,
that.
but they
sure
told us
either.
it was true.
Yeah,
So
they said it was true.
so we walked past it towards this chicken mystery, and then when the chicken was out, we were like, "Oh, hamburgers! Yay!" So and actually, it was like
They
the
were
best hamburger
so
I've ever
good.
had.
And
Exactly.
there was a Germany versus Sweden game happening because the World Cup's happening right now. So it's
Yeah.
Germany versus Sweden, so like everyone was watching it. And at because we were on this long table with like benches, and there was a family next to us that were keeping really quiet, and we found out that they were from Sweden.
Yes. So they were trying to keep it on the DL. There was this huge game.
The dad was really cool because
Oh yeah, so I was talking with them, and it turned out he was a bassist, and he had played at Osterstube before, and so
And he stayed in the artist
yeah, we were like,
housing.
oh well, so we heard that the venue has like a housing facility for the bands, like, so how is it? And he's like, oh, it's really great, blah blah blah. And I was like, wow, that's so random. And,
What are
like,
the chances?
yeah, so that was cool, and they had a daughter who was like really curious about us, and she didn't speak a lot of English, but her parents were translating. She says she likes your hair a lot. She
Aw.
wants to know the name of your band. So we inspired a young girl, which is goals. And then so the show that night was awesome. Around dinner time, I started feeling really weird and sick. So if anyone's keeping up, that's
Number 3.
that's number 3 coming down. So I started feeling like really faint, and like really like weird and like vertigo-y almost, which is weird for me. And then I was, so the show itself was awesome. We got to like really go nuts at that show, which was awesome. And
one of our friends who we met on the Melissa Etheridge cruise, who was from Germany and said she would go, actually went.
She did. It
to
was
the
so
show.
cool.
She showed up. She brought her
She brought her parents. They all loved us. It was awesome. It was so
really
cool to
nice.
see her again.
We also met a guy who was from Pennsylvania, I believe, and
He was from Michigan.
The
wasn't he?
Michigan
Or
guy?
Minnesota.
that was a different guy.
It was
that
someone
guy
from
was
Michigan.
super annoying.
Of course,
He was from
the
Michigan.
American person wasn't.
So this guy came up to the merch table and was talking to me, and he said he like knew about us. Like he was mutual friends with Lance Graham and a couple other people.
That's
What?
so crazy.
It was really strange. I didn't hear everything he was saying, but he said he just moved to Hamburg, and he thought it was funny that the first time he got to see us was in Hamburg, America. So it was really cool. Like the people actually came out, and we played with D-Wall again. It was really awesome. And this duo called Bash.0,
They
which was
were
really
awesome,
awesome. And oh man, here's the one problem about Europe is that they all smoke indoors.
It
Yeah.
could have something to do with why we all got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're not.
We like walked into the venue, breathing and smoke, basically secondhand smoked like a pack.
Yeah. Our
We had a tech.
our stagehand, he was super helpful with everything. He would
He was great.
set up my wireless before I
Yeah,
even
every
knew it
show
was
he
time.
like learned
He
more
was
stuff
amazing.
about what we
Yeah.
wanted, and like he was super helpful. We've never had anyone like be that helpful like at setting up
He
stuff.
brought me 7 water bottles instead of 1 because I.
Because he knows
water.
you drink through.
He's a
so far.
quick learner.
And that's good that he did that because that show, about halfway through, I started feeling really faint. And anyone who knows me knows I don't let that stop me. But it was, thankfully, right at the moment where Maddie's going to do a drum solo. And then Tia was like, oh, here I come. And then you did a bow solo. And during that time, I was feeling really, really faint. So I actually, I was jamming to your drum solo, but then I sort of sat behind where the audience couldn't see me, and I grabbed one of your water bottles and dumped it all over myself. And then I just sat there for a second, and then I was like, I'm back! But the next day, I got super, super sick and lost my voice, almost entirely, but I'll get to that in a second.
Yes, before that, a couple of the guys from Thousand Faces who said they would come to see us in Hamburg maybe actually came.
They actually showed
it
up.
was so cool.
And after the show, we just talked with them forever.
for
It was
an
so
hour we
fun.
talked to them, and we wanted to hang out more, but we knew we had to get up early and drive to Berlin the
We
next
hope
day.
they'll come to the U.S. and tour here, and then you guys can see them too, because
That would be
They were really
very,
good.
very good. So we stayed in the artist flat that night, and it was
It
so
was cool. It was like a dorm. There was like
There was like
And
20
there was
beds.
a laundry machine.
There was a laundry machine.
It
and
was
we
free.
got
Maddie
laundry.
worked on translating and did our laundry for us.
We did it at 1,000 something.
Well, it came out wet and clean, so.
Are we done talking about that show?
No, go
Okay,
ahead.
so, and then after we did the laundry, oh wait, did you tell them about how hard it was to get into the door?
Oh my god.
So they're like, here's the key to the artist flat, and as usual, they didn't really give us as much information as would have been helpful. So we get up there and we're like, I'm pretty sure this is the right door, but it's kind of vague, and then we're using the key, and it went in, but it wouldn't open the freaking door. And then we were trying to get it open, pry the door open.
I was
and
convinced it was the wrong door because it
Right.
was red.
It was
all
red,
the
and it
doors
looked like
were
it was
white.
going to the roof or something.
Yeah.
And then so we could see marks where other people had tried to pry open the door too. So we had basically almost given up, and then I just was like, I think this probably isn't gonna work because it's probably the wrong door. But I just I put my my jacket around the key so I could turn it crazy hard. Just turned it as hard as I possibly could, and it popped open.
Yeah, but that was 20 minutes
Yeah.
after we started that.
I was so sure. it
Luckily,
was like
she
a
got
fire
us in.
exit.
It was so sweet. There were stickers from bands everywhere. And if
Yeah.
you ever go there, we did write some notes
We
on
did.
the beds,
Mm.
on the bed
Yes.
frames. Look for that.
Tia
Probably
wrote
not
on
gonna
my
go over
bed,
the video.
Maverick slept here.
I wrote Tanya Bed.
I wrote Tia Mayhem slept here and put an arrow.
Did you
Good
let
sticker.
people know where you
Maddie
slept?
put a
I
symbol.
drew a flower.
So look for that.
Okay.
And we
Great.
put stickers, and it was cool. It was like a dorm. It was with a kitchen and a bathroom. It was great.
It was awesome.
So I did laundry, and then we hung it up, hoping it would be dry the next morning, but it wasn't dry the next morning.
It was very wet.
Because when we
Which
pulled
is
it
really
out
sad
of the
because I have,
washing
no clothes
machine,
left.
it was really wet.
Yeah, it
we
was,
were
like,
oh
soaking
shit.
wet.
But what are we
So we hung it up, and the next morning, me and Tanya went to a laundromat,
Which
it
turned out to be a Jimi Hendrix museum.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was this really sketchy laundromat, and then there was also a Jimi Hendrix museum, so it had like paintings of him everywhere.
It's really
And then
funny.
during that, we needed to find food because we had to leave like now. So we found out that there was a little grocery store like around the corner. So I went to it.
Our first important piece of information. This strip that we were on is called the Reeperbahn. And it's famous for being like the porno street, the like sin street.
It was
of
like
Hamburg.
Las Vegas all of a sudden.
There's
Yeah,
like
it was very Las Vegas.
strip venues,
Casinos.
strip venues, liquor stores. You know, like really a lot of crazy stuff. So I'm chilling at the Jimi Hendrix Museum, watching our clothes dry.
So I was like, "What do you guys want to eat?" And Tony was like, "What do you say?" Well, I
like,
was like,
you know,
"I'll figure it out. I'm
eat
sure there's a lot of stuff."
Yeah, the grocery store.
The grocery store. So I walk around the corner and I see it's like non-stop shop. There it is. Except there was someone drinking a beer outside and it was like 11 a.m. So I was like, okay, whatever. Like, people do that here. And then I went in, and one side of the store was like a liquor store. The back of the store was like a sex store. And then a tiny section, like this big, was a fridge that had like water bottles. This really weird like pistachio paste-filled bread, and then muffins.
So we ate muffins.
Thank goodness we had muffins.
We didn't eat the dildos. We ate muffins.
Hello, Sean
Oh my God! Hi!
Hey, thanks for tuning in.
from Michigan.
Oh, it's so awesome! Thanks for tuning in. We've been going through our tour experience. We're on Hamburg right
yes.
now.
Yes, and all of you, we are going to leave this video up for like a week or something, so you can check back, watch the
the whole
beginning, get the whole scoop
Yep.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hamburg. That was Hamburg.
And then we had to drive that day to Berlin,
It was
and
a long drive.
it was a
It
very
was
long
a
drive.
long drive.
And I at this point had like laryngitis, and I've never actually had like laryngitis before. Like I've had like bronchitis and other things, but like this was just like I was pretty much okay, except for that my vocal range was like a third of what it once was. So I literally was not accessible over a certain pitch. So we got to the venue and it was so cool.
It was so cool. This is
wait.
Berlin.
Around this time, I think it was the night of Hamburg, I started feeling sick.
Right, and then we were 4 for 4.
Although I wasn't sick anymore.
Yeah,
Maddie
I was healed.
My
Your voice was gone. My throat, my nose mostly was just super stuffy.
And Maverick couldn't
congested.
sing over us.
But she was still the best singer in the band at
I
the
was
Berlin
carrying the
show.
group.
This place was called Blackland, and it had a giant skull on
So
top of the
cool.
building.
Yeah.
And we walk in, stickers everywhere. There's like
Yeah.
this gigantic,
It's
like
super cool.
8-foot orc statue
Yeah.
that has like a Lord of the Rings.
It wasn't
sign
an 8
on
foot,
it.
it was like a 12-foot orc.
Yeah, it was
statue.
a
Massive.
giant with a sword. There was another one over there,
They had
and then
metal
there was
themed
this like devil
cocktails.
flying over the
It was
stage.
super metal.
We were
And they
very
had cool
excited.
drink names as well.
Yeah.
It was
So,
so sweet.
and then we went and we had to eat dinner, so we went and got schnitzel.
That was when we had
Yep,
schnitzel.
that was our first
It was
schnitzel.
very good.
We're like,
And-
oh, the schnitzel, the regular schnitzel.
Yeah, and we were like trying in German and failing a little bit, but and then
We played
so,
with these two awesome bands who were like really sweet. First one was kind of a punk band. The second one was like a metal
And
band.
they played a Motet cover and it was great.
Yeah,
really
it was
great.
so sweet.
And the venue also played really good music.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
and I got around my laryngitis because I could still sing in a lower register. So basically, what we were that night, we were Flight of Fire. If Maverick was an alto, so I changed the melodies on the fly so that they were lower. So I did some different things, and then I decided at the end to do Better Off Without You and the normal things, and it sounded like I was like I was a massive smoker. Like it was like woo, like 80s times 10. Kind of vocals there. But so if you see any videos, if anyone posts any videos from the Berlin show and I'm singing weird melodies, that's why.
That's why.
But it totally worked out. It was
It
really
did.
fun, and
We sold out the
did.
rest of our
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
It was awesome. It all ran out.
And
It was our last show.
we decided to play Drunken Sailor full band.
Yep.
We had never actually done that before, but it was so much fun at the other show that we decided to
Wing it.
wing it. So the last 3 shows in Germany, we did a version of Drunken Sailor because it was so much fun in Kiel. We were like busting it out again, and that was really really
It
fun.
was really
It
fun.
was really
and
fun.
on the last chord of Drunken Sailor, which was the last song we played at our last show, my low E string broke, and it was like,
Yeah, it was very dramatic.
It was.
Yeah, and yeah, so that was Berlin.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that? I don't even remember.
We stayed with a couple friends of one of the booking people's house. They were very, very nice, very cool rocker people
They
as
had
well.
dyed hair too, so.
With an awesome pit bull and like three cats.
And
I kept
small
seeing
child.
more and more cats as like the night progressed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were very
cats
lucky that we
kept
got to
appearing.
stay with so many like random people
Yeah,
for
everyone was
free.
very generous. And,
People in Germany are so like hospitable.
Hospitable?
Hospitable.
There's a
Yeah.
word for that.
It was
Hospitable.
It was amazing.
It was totally amazing, and we didn't get a lot of sleep, and we all got sick. We had the time of our lives, and we met so many great people, and just it was totally.
Now we
unforgettable.
can't wait to go back.
I know
it was
really sad to come
outstanding.
back.
It's like so different out there. It's
Yeah.
really different. And so after that, we the next day we looked around Berlin a little bit, did a little
Yeah.
bit of touristy stuff.
Just
Cool.
saw the Berlin Wall Memorial.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
And the memorial for the murdered Jews in
Mhm.
Berlin.
And yeah.
Lots of historical stuff, because that's
And
the
the
kind of thing we're
Brandenburg
into.
Gate.
And the
Yes,
Brandenburg Gate.
yes.
Yeah. We're very into like the historical stuff. It's amazing to see, things that happened. Like, I mean, that's not so long ago, the World War II stuff, but it's still like, it's hard to find things even as old as that where we come from. So it was really cool to see where the history happened.
Yeah.
And then we drove Maddie to the airport, as Maddie was going to go hang out in England some more with family,
My grandma.
her grandma.
Ajima.
And then we had to go that night we stayed with one of our booking people in Hamburg, and then we woke up, turned the car in, and then we took a bus to Amsterdam.
We were like the
three of
only
us.
people on the bus.
It was us.
It was us
one other
and
girl.
one other girl.
They almost left without us like later. They the bus took
They
a
were
stop,
ready to go.
and then the rest of the people who were on the bus got off, and they're like, "Oh, we have to take a stop here. Get off for 30 minutes." We got off. We got back on. And it was like, "Oh, you're back. Let's go." Just left.
Well,
right away.
I think we almost got left in was it Bremen?
Bremen. Yeah, that's what I
That's-
meant.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I was
she
talking
said
about.
Yeah, I know. I think we
Yeah.
almost got left.
I think that was
He
good.
started the bus like when we turned the corner. We were like,
Yeah.
wait.
It was a close thing. But we were getting some medicine at the
Yeah,
pharmacy.
At the
decongestants
Yeah.
and such.
We were like, I was like, do you have something like Benadryl?
She
It was
spoke like perfect English.
well, it wasn't
Almost.
perfect because it was still like, she didn't understand what sleepy meant, so I did this. I was like, does it make you like, she was like, oh yeah. No, but we got what we needed. And then the bus ended up taking a really long time. And by the way, the reason why we were going back to Amsterdam is because it was cheapest to fly back out of Amsterdam. So we saved money by not flying out of Hamburg, which would have been much more convenient, but it was cheaper.
It was a
It
lot
was
more to
cool
fly
because
out.
we were really excited to go back to Amsterdam and look at it more.
Yeah.
So we spent the night just kind of roaming around, checking things out, and the nightlife is just crazy there.
Yeah, so the twins and I just had like a really fun last night in Amsterdam, and then we flew out early the next morning, and then we cried ourselves to sleep a little bit.
And now we're
Here we
back.
are now.
Actually, our friend Kevin, who may see this video someday, actually met us in New York
Kevin
and
was a
took care of
hero.
us, and we got to sleep in his hotel room for like 5 hours.
We got to
and then-
shower.
We got to
and
shower.
sleep
God,
and
it
eat
was
food,
great.
and then he drove us all the way back to Boston before he had to go to work.
He has a heart of gold, that man.
Seriously, it was amazing.
And that was our tour.
We had the time of our lives.
Yeah, and like, thank you for being our patrons and helping us so much with this, because even though we did it on the super cheap, it still was pretty expensive, and so we really, really appreciate your
Yeah.
guys' support. It really,
Yeah.
really makes a difference. And do you guys have any questions about anything? I mean, we can keep talking about the food for a while. Apparently, that's our favorite subject. But hopefully next year we want to go out there, but we want to play a festival next year, and hopefully that festival will get paid for, and that will pay for the rest of the tour. That's our plan. So there's many festivals we're working for. What would you do with a drunken sailor? Well, there's a couple options. You could stick him in the bed with the captain's daughter. You could put him in the longboat till he's sober.
Shave his belly with a rusty razor.
Or shave his belly with a rusty razor. Either one of those
I've
will
never
work.
heard that
Who's
one.
in a band with a drunken sailor?
We're in a band with a drunken sailor.
She is the one who's a drunken sailor.
Early in the morning.
And that's the answer to your question.
So, we're gonna keep this video up for like a week or whatever, so everyone can watch it. Leave comments if you want to ask questions after the fact, and we'll totally respond on, like, we'll message respond. We're still kind of dumb.
We're still kind of jet lagged.
Yeah, we're a little bit jet lagged.
We've been getting up in the morning.
Yeah, we've been getting up in the morning. It's bizarre.
We got up at 9 today and gonna go back to what's it like?
Wow. Mornings.
Maddie
It's
has
terrible.
no
we had
idea
nothing
what
to do
that's
for
like.
hours.
So it was amazing.
Yeah, and for
Or
anyone,
lie in the
That's right. Exactly, right? So for anyone who donated to our GoFundMe, who's also watching this video, we have postcards for all of you, and we had a bit of a misadventure with the postcards, which was that we couldn't find your addresses on the GoFundMe website, and it apparently was like, it's like a 2-week process to get your addresses from GoFundMe. We're like still in emails with them. We have to go through a bunch of security measures and go to the trusted safety team, and we're like, so we weren't able to mail them from Germany, which sucks. We couldn't get the addresses. So, but we will be mailing them.
Bought the stamps.
I know,
in
we bought
Germany.
German stamps and we couldn't use them. But we will be mailing them from America once GoFundMe gives us your addresses. So you can expect those sometime soon, hopefully. And yeah, I can't think of anything else to say.
That is all the things.
That was all the things.
And
Any last
that's
minute
a
questions
wrap.
about the tour? I know there's like a slight, it's like a 2-minute delay, so we'll just like.
Wait for your hands.
Yes, we will get some rest. Thanks, Max.
There it is. Now we wait for questions.
Okay, now we wait.
Big delay.
Inception.
Oh, we had people clapping while we played the ocean.
Oh, it
in
was really
Kiel,
funny.
And it was very confusing because
Yeah.
the song is sometimes in 7.
And they were clapping on every other beat, which
It
became
got
very
very
strange.
confusing
Very confusing.
after a while.
All right, I don't think we have any questions incoming.
If
Thank
anyone
you,
has a
guys.
question after this, comment on the video and we will
Yep.
get back to you
Mhm.
in the form of words.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in, guys.
Thanks for giving a shit. Oh, was our favorite place to visit and play? I think my favorite show was Scylla.
My favorite show was,
I think
Kiel.
the cave in Amsterdam.
I liked Keel.
I don't know, I like all of them.
I know, I liked all of them.
I
But,
think
yeah.
Scylla was my favorite.
Yeah.
What?
And to visit, we had a
like
great
Harlem.
time everywhere. Harlem was very happy. It was a very happy place.
It was Disney World.
I liked Amsterdam.
Yeah.
It was sweet.
yeah.
I really loved I loved driving through the German countryside because it's
You
so
never once
green
stop
and
talking
beautiful.
about
I wouldn't stop talking about how beautiful Germany was. And I actually learned the most, I actually know a very small amount of German, so I was able to talk to the crowd a little bit in German, and they were very amused.
They were very
good.
They thought it was
So that's
awesome.
Yeah, we are apparently very obviously not from a lot of the
Yeah,
countries.
we tried. We tried to just speak German enough to order something, and then they'd immediately speak
Respond
English.
in
Before
English.
we said hello, they'd speak in
Same
English.
with France. We started trying, and then they just responded immediately in English.
We're like,
I
merci,
ordered-
they're like, thank you.
I ordered at a patisserie in French, and it worked, but it could have been because I was holding up numbers and pointing it. You never know. But anyway, that was a great question. Everything was wonderful.
It was.
And thanks everyone for tuning in.
You should go with your band, Sean, sometime.
Yeah, man. It was cool. Thank you to the person who liked the video.
All right, we're losing viewers.
Bye! All right, we have to end it up there. See you next time.
Checking out.
Do I press X?
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't be so
bye!
awkward.
Bye!